It's a great flight, man. And that pressure, getting that compression on the golf ball. We know that you tend to get a little bit shallow.
Yeah, so tendencies, definitely the leak to the right.
Even less offset on this.
What are these, 1 degree stronger than my current?
Well, depends what they're sitting at, mate.
Yeah.
I didn't like to kind of spill the beans, but that is slightly flatter.
Is it? Very sneaky. Something really exciting today I think a lot of you might enjoy, and it's something that I've been putting off for far too long, and I'm going to get fitted for golf clubs, okay? Full bag fit, my stuff, let's call it subpar. Today, hopefully that's all going to change. So we've got TaylorMade coming down, and they're going to have everything here, and we're going to set it up, video it, take you along, and give you a bit of an insight into a fitting process as well. And at the end, I'll hopefully have a whole brand new set of golf clubs.
White flag, mate, yeah?
Yeah, white flag.
Yep. Obviously, you've been doing a bit of work on the swing, Dave, so...
Yeah, I'm trying to get between the, swing and natural, because I know if I work on the swing, I'm going to be slower. I want to get the clubs for my speed, so I'll swing kind of normal.
So you're just trying to eliminate a little bit of the technique here and just as if you're playing, yeah.
Still aware of it, but I'll try and I'll not fixate on it.
Any feedback you have for me in terms of tendencies and what you're seeing on the golf course, mate, will always be a good thing here.
Okay. Yeah, so tendencies, definitely the leak to the right. I always have this notion, I remember back before, playing the clubs a bit flatter.
Yep.
Because it helps me keep there rather than up. I like that. But definitely the tendency's a bit to the right. And
so a straight push?
Kind of a push, yeah. Yeah, where I don't get the face. I would miss it left the odd time, but I'm fighting so hard to stop that.
Yeah, so I was about to say the caveat to that high right and that one that's over curving to the left is predominantly the same shot.
Yeah, from the same.
If you look at it from a face plane tilt perspective, going kind of a little bit forwards here, you've got a flatter lie angle, which naturally from a 3D perspective is going to help start the golf ball go further to the right.
Yeah. And which I think it just, for comfort, it's like if it's flatter, I feel that I can then do what I need to do in the swing to stop. Do you know what I mean?
No, totally. I think from this perspective, mate, how the club looks and sits at address is absolutely key here.
Yeah, absolutely. Help if I could strike one.
It's very neutral though, mate.
What's that?
It's very neutral.
Yeah. I mean, when I get it, time it all, it's good, and I'll get a good one here.
Good swing.
The better strike there.
So you obviously like to see it falling left. From my perspective, mate, if you look at what you're currently gaming, you've got a blended set here in the 4 and the 5 and the CB, which has got a little bit more offset on it, slightly thicker sole geometry.
Yep.
And then you move into the 6 iron where you've got the MC, which is quite a traditional looking iron, but I think where you get the benefit here on the MC is ultimately, geez, these are falling apart, Dave.
I know, these things are so old.
What I like about the MC is not only are you getting a very traditional look that's built very much for versatility with kind of cleaner top line, nice clean sole geometry, you've still got that element of the speed pocket, so you've got the technology in it. Naturally, I think if you were to make the transition into an iron in its current state, in our lineup, we've got QI as the game improvement iron, then you go to 790 as the player's distance iron, 770 CB, and then you're into your MBs. I think naturally what will look quite consistent from you and a nice carryover would probably be a 770. Because I think you would maybe struggle with feel if you move away from that tech in the head, but that's ultimately something that we need to have a look at.
I love the shape of those. And I probably do lose a little bit of distance with them as well because they're slightly weaker loft. I think there's 1 or 2 degrees from the 770. So student here in Northern Ireland, it's about to lash, so if we have to pause this and come back out, that's what's going on. It's pretty grim.
Very good, mate. So
was a
ball's doing what you
good
want,
swing.
just falling a little bit to the left.
Yep.
You know, I know we've got a slight breeze off the right today, but, you know, path looks really, really neutral. Strike is off the centre of the face. It's quite a unique shaft you've got in your own irons at the minute.
I know, because it normally, like years, it was obviously X, and this is what's his 120, Steph?
Yeah, so I'll play around 120 in Steph, but KBS Tour notoriously known for their counterweighted shafts, so you've got a little bit more weight up towards the handle end,
right?
Which is great for someone that actually wants to protect against the right side of the, or the left side of the golf course.
Interesting.
So we'll promote more of a right bias, because what actually happens here is whenever you move more mass into the handle end, it's trying to keep the club out in front.
Right. Which is interesting because I get steep there too.
Yes. Yeah.
So there could be some club at play with that, with the weight up this end.
Yeah,
potentially.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if I'm up here and pull on it, it's going to go that way.
Yeah. So look.
Okay.
Speed at 86 miles an hour. I know it's pretty cold day. I think whenever you start to play a little bit more naturally, whenever you get under the pressure and there's a bit of adrenaline, naturally I would start to see that going up.
Yeah, I'd say about 90, 88, 90 is normal when I'm hitting balls over and over to get up to that.
But I definitely do think your tendency on it is, mate, if you look at the attack angle, you struggle to get the squash on the shaft. So attack angle gets a little bit shallow, so maybe the compression isn't absolutely bang on each time, or the pressure on the golf ball is what you'd expect out of a player of your quality.
Yeah.
Let's get into some of our irons here, Dave. I'm going to get you to have a look at. Okay. Ultimately, what I want feedback on first is ultimately how it looks. Let me just get a wrist to floor measurement from you as a static perspective, mate. So,
stand up.
Yep. So right away here, wrist to floor at 35 inches, which I would consider gents industry standard. So I would look at a standard length golf club to start off with. That's just as a starting point. Cool. There's plenty of things go on dynamically here that can ultimately affect that.
But the only thing I've ever been standard in. So had to cut it there. Weather is not playing ball. Little bit of sort of light at the end of the tunnel over there, hopefully. So we'll get going.
Yeah, so going into that 770, Dave, the profile matches up the MC, because I think one thing that you like is obviously that slightly cleaner top line.
Yeah.
But as I said, just with the tech in the MC, I think the 770 would line up quite well to that.
Funny, yet while we were taking that break, I had a look. It looks like strikingly similar to that.
Very, very similar, yeah, absolutely. You got that clean top line, but also that sole geometry, because we know that you tend to get a little bit shallower.
Yeah.
So if we can go to that slightly cleaner sole, it should help with a little bit more interaction on the turf.
Cool. The ball's wet, maybe the spin.
Yeah, a little bit high on the spin there.
Yeah.
Tell you what I'll do, Dave. I'll take the balls and throw them to you.
Okay.
Just so we make sure we're getting some
that felt
good data.
solid though.
Yeah, very good, mate.
Look at that for service.
186, mate. Carry.
You got to spin like 3,000.
I think we'll delete that one.
I think this was the spin like really low.
Yeah, it was at 2,500.
Yeah,
Here.
and that's one thing is actually for people watching. Do you find this when you're fitting, if the balls are wet, it just frigs the spin?
Yeah, it's just, you've just got to kind of be aware of those ghost numbers. So if your 7-iron's starting to spin pre-4,000, you know that there's probably something wrong with the golf ball. But the modern tech now...
friction.
Yeah.
As you say, the modern tech's probably so good though at stopping that.
Different flight, isn't it, mate?
That felt really solid. See you later.
I think there's a couple of things.
Felt really good.
I think there's a couple of things to really look at here, Dave. So come look at this here, mate.
That was pure.
So we're in a really healthy position here with spin, because it's spin at 6,000, right? Now, as a general rule of thumb, what I would look at is anywhere between 80 to 90 miles an hour we would fit for stiff.
Yeah.
90 and up we would fit for X. But that's a very kind of blanket statement. There's a number of factors that go into this.
Yeah.
How it feels to someone and how they present the loft. We know that you tend to get a little bit shallow. So what you struggle to do is retain loft to get flight on the golf ball.
Yeah.
So if you ask most consumers, if Dave was to go into an X flex, would it increase the ball flight or decrease it? Most would generally say X will hit the golf ball a little bit lower. But in this case, because I know where you're going to get to because you're getting more reps in.
Yeah, exactly.
I would still go to an X. Okay?
Yeah, I'm happy with that because I know it's going to come up. And what I don't want is to get something and then get quicker and then be like, oh, no, this is too soft. You know, something to play into almost.
Well, the really interesting thing is here, Dave, the reason why I like to go into X is because it causes you to retain more loft, so it helps the golf ball get more up in the air, especially when it comes to the top end of the golf bag, right?
Yeah, like that was really different.
So if you look at your speed on your own ones, you're swinging at 86 miles an hour, you're down to 85 miles an hour here, but we had that 10-minute break for the weather, okay?
Yeah.
But one of the big things here is, you did say to me, carry a 7-iron in around 160, I'm getting you to 161 carry. But even off less speed here, your carry distance is now up to 168. So you're 7 yards further through the air on slightly less speed.
Yeah.
But if you really look at it in conjunction with the rest of the bag, we actually see sometimes where guys have a saturation point to where 4 and 5 irons don't carry any further.
Yeah, I've
which
seen
is
that.
where I would probably see with you at the minute, the 4-iron would tend to come out quite low.
Yeah, it doesn't stay in the air long enough.
But because you're actually now going into a stronger profile shaft, the face won't rotate as much, so dynamically you'll get a little bit more loft on it, which is able to get it in the air. Because I think it's easier for you to go to a lower flight shot on command rather than a higher one.
Yeah.
So you've now got that trajectory peaking a little bit higher with a steeper landing angle, which means it's easier for you to stop it into a front pin, or especially if you're downwind where the golf ball won't retain as much flight.
Yeah, because that is, like, hitting it high in the past wasn't a problem because I could do it with speed.
Yep,
whereas
exactly.
Can't do that
And
now.
Dave, I think that's a great point because speed obviously creates spin, which retains the lift on the golf ball.
Yeah, and that was where at that point I was probably hitting it too high, but now, like, that definitely took out of a different window.
Yeah, and that's with a softer golf ball. I know we're using a range ball here.
True. That was the bad swing, but still got some height.
But see, Dave, I actually think it's a little bit contradictory to what you see. You know, you talk about how you don't like that right shot.
Yeah.
But I actually see your left shot as the more destructive one.
Oh, it is, and that's why I've kind of built the left one out of my game as much as I can because it's horrible. So yeah, if that's the miss, it's not bad. And then technique-wise too, I can work on that.
Because Dave, the only thing that we're doing here is the path hasn't changed. It's anywhere between 0 and 3, which we know probably your biggest struggle sometimes is actually to see shape on the golf ball because you're so neutral. But the biggest thing here is controlling that face to path. You get too much of that toe rotation, which causes the golf ball to go left. So if you see a number of shots that go right, what do? You're a good player. You start to rotate the face more to square it up. I think this gives you a level of, you know, kind of positivity here where you can commit to it and not be scared to see that flight curve too much to the left.
Exactly. A little bit chunky. But that feels good. It's a very different feeling to what I'm... Lighter, isn't it?
It is lighter, Dave. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a 105 in X. It is quite a unique... It's quite a unique shaft here. Whenever you tend to go stronger, most people would associate that with going more weight.
Yeah.
But as I said, what we basically want to do here is get the shaft working more this way through impact that creates the pressure on the golf ball because you tend to retain more of this angle, which is great for a driver, as you know. But whenever it comes to long irons, getting that pressure, getting that compression on the golf ball, that's where it's maybe lacking a little bit.
Yeah.
So that lighter shaft gives you the ability to squash it.
Yeah, and that's it.
But also the stability in the X here, mate.
Yeah, I like that. And I think as well, in tandem with the swing stuff and trying to get more of that, it'll only get better.
Yeah, well, I saw that video with Phil and what you guys were working on.
Yeah, and it's just to say I'm in limbo between them, but
it's a great flight there, dude.
It is good, isn't it? I like that.
Very good, mate. Very
Maybe
good.
a tiny bit ground first, so it might lose it, but it felt...
But mate, if you look at it now, right, in my opinion, whenever it comes to fitting, the left and rights aren't actually as important. Look, they're obviously vitally important. If you're hitting a 7-iron 30 yards right and left, it's a golf coach you need to see, not me.
Yeah.
but it's front to back in terms of depth is more, I think, is huge. It's a game of distance now, so making sure that you know whenever you're on a 7-iron, you're getting as close to 160-yard carry as possible. You look at the number of shots you've hit here, 168.2, 168.7, 170, 165. That to me is great front to back control.
And that's also that top end or that mid range is where I want to be, because obviously I've gotten a lot slower. To bring that up with, you know, that's going to be really solid for me. And because it's got that height, it'll stop.
Dave, see, one thing that I would say about you. I know you've
lost weight.
Yeah. Half of Dave Leathem here. Where's the other half?
I know. My swing speed's going with it.
I see you've got the blended set with the CB and the other one. I am a fan of it. I think it works well, especially for those guys that like something more traditional in the shorter irons. But for me, with you, I think keeping that continuity from the top end of the bag right down to the wedge would be key here. So I would like you to remain in the 7 or 8 sticks, whatever it may be, 4 to pitch and wedge or 3 to pitch and wedge, whichever way you decide to go, to keeping that kind of one franchise of product rather than starting to blend two.
Yeah, because the one thing that, while I like that, the thought of that in that particular set was, I said to you at the start, the longer irons with it's more the CB in those, isn't it? So it's offset.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, friggin'
thicker top line.
Yeah, and that. So if it all does stay that way, I think that's fine.
Which I don't think, Dave, would be a bad option for a little bit more offset and chunkier if you were to go to a 2-iron for an option off the tee on a links golf course.
True. That's skanky, but still shooting off. Versus that, we'd have no chance for that shot.
Now, you've obviously got a little bit more tech in this iron, but as I said, because it's that hollow body construction, right? So this one here, I mean, you can see aesthetically beautiful. It's our CB.
Yes.
Okay. So you see here, even less offset on this. Actually, a little bit more onset than what's on that.
Yeah.
But sole geometry much cleaner as well.
Okay.
So let's move away from your comfort zone with what that MC was, and go into this CB. We'll just keep the same shaft for the purpose of this so far. Are you liking that Modus one?
I am. I can feel it, like, I don't know what the word is. It's like I can feel it kicking or something, or
which is mad because you've increased the frequency of the shaft. It's slightly stronger shaft.
Yeah, I like the feel of that. Yeah,
look different.
It looks different, yeah, and it does. Yeah,
it's quite sexy, isn't it?
It is nice. Yeah, looks good.
Swing, Dave. Very good. Didn't sound quite as clicky.
Not just, I mean, it's one shot, but feel-wise, actually, I probably felt the other one, I maybe liked it better.
A little bit more pop off the other one?
Yeah.
It's probably more familiar as well.
Yeah, that's true. Because, like, even that one I seen there on the track, man, where I didn't quite catch it, still flew 166. And with mine, that's going 155. So I've still can catch a piece of the green with that other one, you know? So we'll have I'm about making this game easier, not harder.
Absolutely, mate. But what you tend to get is with players of your caliber, sometimes you go into a 770 and it might look a little bit too thick along the top line, so it can be a little bit offensive in some cases, which it's not. It's a very traditional looking iron.
Yeah, like I don't mind that. I mean, years ago it would have bugged me because I'd have been like, oh no, I want a blade. But listen, I don't need that.
I mean, I think it works in with your swing weaknesses. So you've got a 770 that's a hollow body construction. So what it's basically trying to do is it's giving the ability of the face to flex more. So retaining that ball on the face. That's why you're probably getting that enhanced feedback out of it.
Yeah, and I quite like that feel. It's very different than what I've ever had.
Okay, whereas this is a one-piece construction.
Yeah, because it feels very different. And I think it's probably like me 10 years ago, it's this.
Yep. A little bit more speed.
Yeah.
Great flight, Dave.
Yeah, like that.
Definitely more definitely less shape. That started about a yard left of the target
Yeah.
and held its line.
What's that for carry, just out of curiosity? No, that was a bit dodgy read, was it?
That, to
It could be
me,
ball.
Dave, was
Good shot, though.
a little bit wet. So, interestingly, speeds are exactly the same on the new set of irons. Ball speed on both, very, very similar. Carry is aligned up, mate. Now, what I
Yeah.
would say is the landing angle on this is slightly
Steeper?
lower.
Oh,
No,
lower?
it's actually lower, yes.
Yeah.
Because what you have is you've got that hollow body in the other one, which is causing the face to flex. So it's almost acting like a trampoline where it's creating
Yeah.
more airtime on it.
Yeah, I think honestly, like anything that's going to give me a little bit of help, like this is great and I'll manage it, but I'm like, that 770 feels...
No, so ultimately my job here, Dave, is to kind of direct you. I'm just putting you in a 770 now because of feedback, which is an unusual case here because
Yeah.
typically a PGA Pro would opt for something that looks a little bit more blade-like.
Yeah.
But you're in by no means wanting to just favour something that looks completely like a player's iron or resembles something like the guys would use on tour.
Yeah, because I don't, I just want it to be, here's a rain off. I just felt solid and easier, you know?
Okay,
Like,
so it'll be interesting to see what you feel whenever you get back into 770 after coming right out of it.
oh, bad swing, sorry. Give me something to do live, be better.
Yeah, you get trench foot in there. Swing, Dave. There's definitely less shape on these.
There is, and that wasn't even 100%, but we'll get that. But it just feels a bit, I don't know how to describe it.
What golf ball are you going to use, Dave, for whenever you start to compete and play?
Well, between the TP5 and the TP5X,
Yep.
what do you think it might, because I don't know which way around it is in terms of one faster swing, one slower, one spin more?
Look, everyone can benefit from a premium golf ball, mate. I think the big thing from your perspective is you're obviously very, very good putter and you're great around the greens. So you kind of need to separate it and analyse, do I want to work from the tee to the green or from the green back? Which one is your preference? You know, I could tell you TP5 is the best for you in terms of a long game.
Yeah.
But you also have to feel comfortable with it on the short game. So
Yeah.
TP5X is a higher compression golf ball, so it'll feel a little bit firmer off the face on the putter. So that might be something that you desire to use. But from a long game perspective, mate, I'd have you in TP5 all day.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure, mate. Slightly softer compression and it'll just retain more of that ball on the face.
Yeah, that sounds good. It's interesting because I had been playing around with the X.
X.
See water in my eyes.
Class, mate. Very, very good. So even that one that's a little bit shallow
Yeah.
still
goes.
retains its flight.
Uh-huh.
Very good.
And if it didn't give us a wet number just with the balls, but
Last two shots, 67 and 70, mate. Look, for the big thing for you, would it be fair to say, Dave, just for the purpose of the video, you haven't come looking for any more distance? That's not
no,
the
if I get a couple of yards, because on my bad shot is the key, because I do,
yeah, absolutely.
we all come out of a few, and I'd rather it catch front edge than miss short, you know.
Yep.
And yeah, no, it's not, I'm not trying to get something to go 180, because the thing I like about the current ones, I know what to do, even if it's a bit shorter.
Yep.
At least I know what they do.
It's your best swing today, mate.
That's the one there.
Now, this will be an interesting one,
Easy.
right? So we talked about the consistency of the distance.
Yeah.
So 67 and 70 were the last two strikes, and then you've absolutely flushed one there, and it's carried 167.3.
Which is, see, to be honest, I like that, because what are these, 1 degree stronger than my current? I think I looked it up this morning.
Yeah, they'll
'cause
play
they're so
around.
old.
Well, depends what they're sitting at, mate.
That could be an 8 iron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, and it's a couple of because I would look at 165 now with a 7. It's like I'm probably feeling like I'm busting on that to get it with mine.
Yep.
And that will cruise, and I can get that built up, and the X will give me some comfort to go up to 170 something. But
Okay, so just to give
love
you a
the
bit
flight.
more feedback, because you've played the KBS family for such a number of years, let's go back to this as a reference point just to allow you to differentiate
the
between
this
the
is like
fields,
a
mate.
same thing as I had there, similar.
So even though it's a flex down, so the frequency isn't as strong, the weight is up, which I'm not a fan of you to go into a heavier shaft because it starts to bring down ball flight. However, you start to go into wedges, especially pitching around the green, I usually like guys to retain a little bit more weight.
Yeah, I like
because
the weight there.
if you think of the radius, the club doesn't travel as much, so you want a little bit more mass to create that movement whenever the swing isn't as long.
Yeah, I like that because I think lighter would freak me out around the greens. Maybe just into the weight there.
Do you find anything down there?
Where's it? See, you're getting all the good and the bad here. We'll get that digger to fill that one in when we're done.
Do you see, mate, right? So even though, like, I can't tell you how to interpret feel. Feel is very individualistic thing. But certainly the noise that I'm hearing back from it, even on that one that wasn't a bad swing,
Yeah.
it sounded very lumpy and very, very dead.
Yeah, and it does. Now that I've experienced that other one, this feels less. It does feel harder work.
Yep.
Like,
because you've got a very, Dave, you've got a very, even though you're, you know,
where's
86 miles an hour, mate, it's very passive and smooth. Your transition is smooth. You know, it's not like a Nick Price where it gets a bit jerkier, or, you know, I get a little bit quicker in transition.
Yeah.
So whenever you feel something from the top here that's really heavy, it looks like you get a little bit out of sync, and your sequencing starts to actually suffer for it.
But the thing I really like about that, and I always said this too when it comes to like fitting and numbers and everything, but when I hit a shot and when I hit a shot with a club that say you've made up, and I feel it and it hits the flight I want, I'm like, that's the one. I remember it happened to me years ago when I was playing loads over in America, I think it was. Tried a load of different drivers. As soon as I hit that shot, I was like, didn't care what anything said. I was like, that's the one, because that's the shot I want to see. Do you know what I mean?
No, here it's an interesting one because golf is very much a numbers game now. Probably more so than whenever we played to a decent level back in college. But as a good player, you're taking control here because you see a window, you want to hit it, and that's where you know it's
I know
it's
that's
good.
going to be a good
100%, mate. Yeah,
a good shot. Like, I feel like I can launch that if I wanted. The way it popped up,
yeah,
was really.
But the X doesn't feel like you're swinging a crowbar here either. No. Yeah.
It's weird. Actually, feels like there's actually a little more play in it,
which is crazy because it's a stronger shaft.
Yeah. That was ripped. It definitely feels harder work.
And more shape.
And more left.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we've actually got you thinking a little bit differently here, mate, because you came here saying you didn't like the right shot, but my vision for you was I wouldn't like to see you getting that left shot under the gun.
Well, yeah, because the right shot's a byproduct of hitting it left for so long. I've cut that.
100%.
I've cut that out and made my miss a little push, and when I work on my swing and get the face better, I'll not have as big a right if it does creep in.
I think that's a hard thing for people to understand as well. Sometimes that concept of, while left and right might be opposite sides of the golf course, they're very much intrinsically linked. And it's, we need to get to the root of the problem here and why does it happen? I just think that heavier shaft causes you to work harder, get out of sync, and then you become more handsy and less rotational. So less pressure on the golf ball.
Exactly.
Very good, mate.
Yeah, that's good. there's the miss right, but
but Dave, that doesn't surprise me because you're
Swing.
out of something that's playing 120 grams into something that'll play around 108, 109.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different feel. There's going to be a little bit of a bedding in phase here
Yeah.
on these next number of shots that you hit. Great swing, Dave.
Yeah, see, that felt like I could have gone more left.
Yep.
Didn't. Cool. Oh. Just pop it still. You blame that on tiredness? I'm 37 now. I think.
Still got drivers, fairways to go.
I know.
It's a great flight, man.
Yeah, I like that. And again, that should have gone more left than it did. There's only a little bit left.
And just so you're kind of aware, I didn't like to kind of spill the beans, but that is slightly flatter.
Is it?
And the reason why I would go
Nice.
slightly flatter is simply to keep that toe down,
Yeah.
which encourages that interaction with the turf, because we don't want these skinny divots that you tend to get because you get a little bit shallow. So keeping that toe down makes sure that we're getting the right interaction with the turf and also controls that face rotation.
Very sneaky. But that is good though, because I like visually to see that as well, because from I guess it's this between the club helping you with your swing as well, because if I have something that's upright, it's nearly like I'm forced into this, which
Yes.
is my flaw. And I like
Bit
to-
early extension and then causing
Yeah.
the toe to get down more, yeah.
and if I can try and get here, I can keep things lower, and with a flatter club, that's better. I remember years ago having an iron that I bent like something stupid, like 10 degrees flat, just for a bit of crack.
Yeah,
So I was hitting it here, the heel was sitting up. The only way I could hit it was like
yeah.
that, and
Yeah.
I would rip it,
Yeah.
you know? So something that can force me into that, that's good.
But again, it goes back to, it's slightly contradictory to what we talked about at the start, because you said
Yeah.
bad misses to the right.
But that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it'll work in tandem with my swing that I'm working on, you know what I mean?
It's a great flight, Dave.
Yeah, I can't get that out of those others.
Very good, mate. Look, ultimately for you as well here, we've remained very consistent on the spin. The spin's sitting in there, if we just delete that one that was a little bit of an anomaly, 6.3. You know, I always like
Nice.
a 7,000. So you times the iron by 10 and you minus 500. That gives you your ideal spin,
Yeah.
give or take,
Yeah.
6,500. But with the modern technology in the golf ball, notoriously it doesn't spin as much as it did.
Yeah.
But your spin sitting in there really, really healthy. It's 6.3. Landing angle is at 46 degrees, so it means you're ultimately able to stop the golf ball, and then you've gained a few extra yards carry on.
And it feels good.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I start swinging a bit better and it'll just work, and I like the look of it, and the shaft feels really, it feels good.
Perfect. Got a seal.
Sweet.
Got a seal.
Got a seal. Sound box them up.
Right.